right. That's right. We say we're super fired up with every celebrity guest we bring on, but I've had the privilege to meet our celebrity guest in person, and it was about probably a year ago to the date. My wife and I had a chance to meet her. Absolutely phenomenal. And it's Amy Majory, everybody. She's an absolute phenomenal person, both personally and professionally. She's a real estate investor and educator. She's been on TV. She's an HGTV personality, best-selling author, keynote speaker. After 14 years in corporate America, she started crushing it in real estate. She was like, peace, I'm done working for somebody else. And so she's been investing in real estate over the last 10 years. And during that time, she has raised millions and millions and millions of dollars in private money for hundreds of real estate transactions all over the country. She's a part owner in over $500 million of commercial real estate, living in Austin, Texas. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a baller. Man, welcome to the stage, everybody. Amy Majory.
Hi, everyone.
Amy, let's go. Man, I'm pumped. I'm pumped tonight to have you on with the Freedom Chasers, where we all get activated on Sunday and apply that activation for the week. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate your time and the opportunity, and excited to be here. I see some familiar faces, some familiar names, so I'm excited to get after it.
Fantastic, fantastic. So Amy, for those of those here that do not know who you are, who is Amy Majory in a nutshell? And let's segue a little bit. When you get into it, okay, you come from the professional world. You had a dream job of working for Nike, and then something happened.
Yes. So like many of you, my background's very traditional. I was raised to go to school, get good grades, and land this secure and stable corporate job for the rest of my life until I retired. And that one and only job offer I got out of undergrad happened to be with Dell Computers in Austin, Texas. I still can't believe it when I say it. I was with Dell for 14 years. And this is what's so crazy. I was at Dell for 14 years in a high profile position with an MBA. And when I left my job, I was only grossing $87,000 a year. So I wasn't even bringing home $5,000 a month. My very first year investing in real estate, knowing nothing, as a part-time real estate investor, I'm still working my job at Dell. I ended up, including losses, I ended up netting north of 120 in just real estate. So yes, sure, I saw the earning potential, but I really fell in love with the transformation process. And so that's when I was like, forget Nike, I'm going to do real estate full time. So that was about 9 or 10 years ago.
I love that. Well, we're definitely we want to get into that transformation process, Amy. We love that. So you were in the corporate world. You were dominating, so to speak, but yet maybe not so much on the salary side, even though that's kind of, when you say 14 years MBA and it's like, man, you're not taking home $5,000 a month. It's like, what's going on here, right?
That's weird. Look, I'm not trying to like squash anyone who's doing anything right now. I know in this country, that's a great income, but I'm like, that's insane. Like, if I'm going to bust my butt, I'm going to go bust it for myself.
That's right. That's right. Well, a lot of us are in that similar boat, Amy. You and I spoke on our pregame huddle, and it's like a lot of us have W-2 jobs right now, and we're trying to do real estate on the side. And so what could you speak to that point specifically on how to navigate these two worlds and be successful in both of them?
We all have different goals. I have always been a firm believer. I played competitive sports growing up. I had hobbies. I wrote this book, and whether it was something I wanted to do part-time or as a hobby or as a profession, I always believed in coaching. I always believed in mentorship. I made a bunch of money. I had a bunch of immediate success. I lost it all, had plenty of failures too along the way. But aside from my ability to raise private money, which I know we'll talk about today, I was able to fast track my career in real estate because I had not just one, but 4 different coaches, like coaches that I invested in to hold my hand every step of the way. So I'm a product of coaching. I believe in coaching, but what you guys choose to do, is on you.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what, There's nothing that can fast track your progress more than a mentor. 100%. And so actually we've invested a lot over the last 6 months into mentorship. And so just to accelerate our progress, because we want to move as fast as possible, because like part of our name here, Amy, we're the freedom chasers. We're the freedom chasers. And at least for myself, Victor, and Marcel, who are part of we're the freedom boys, Amy. And we didn't self-proclaim that. We were at a mastermind, and basically we got coined that term, the Freedom Boys. So and it's stuck ever since, right? And we're actually going to come out with this theme song here pretty soon. Oh, spoiler alert! Sorry, was that too much? Too early, Caleb?
He's getting so excited about that, man.
I am.
Crazy.
It's sorry, not to get on a rabbit trail. Okay, Amy, let's go back to you, okay? Because this is all about you. How? I mean, what was besides the mentorship? Okay, and the coaching you received, what was some aspects of the secret sauce that you had that was able to be successful in real estate?
That's a big part of it, right? But it's also, are you coachable? Are you disciplined? I can give you 500 scripts right now on how to go raise money from your mailman, but if you're not coachable and you don't believe in what you're doing, it's not going to work. So being committed. Everyone's going to tell you have a why, make that your motivating driving force. As I sit here rolling my eyes, yes, I agree. We all say that, but also like, what are you doing? Like, why are 52 of us here tonight on a Sunday? Like, do you guys want this or not? So if you want it, just do it. Stop with the BS, stop with the excuses, and go, make those goals come to fruition, make them a reality.
That's right. And that's one of the things that I admire about you, Amy, is you are direct, frank, to the point, and super genuine and approachable. I mean, that's what Aubrey and I, my wife, that was our experience with you, and we appreciate it. Okay, Amy, I've heard you say in the past about your story, it was kind of look in hindsight, right? You're like, you didn't realize that you were good at raising private money.
Yeah.
When you kind of started. Could you just unpack a little bit about that, unpack those layers, unwrap that for us, please?
Yeah, the 14 years I was at Dell, I was just working a job. I was like, oh, it's good money. Like, I didn't really care about it. I was just working to make money, but I was never a manager. I was always an individual contributor. So like, I never thought I would be where I am today. So when I invested in my real estate coaching education, 9 or 10 years ago, one of the things that we are tasked with as investors is building a team, right? Well, one of the most instrumental team members that we need are private money lenders, because it's not even a belief, it's a fact. That is the only way to grow and scale. I don't care what you have, right? You still don't have enough to grow and scale and be financially free. So as I got out there, I mean, I hustled, right? It was work, but it wasn't hard work. And I realized the way I was converting all these people into being private money lenders, they were very unique, like trust and rapport building strategies that people don't teach us. Like, I don't care what coaching program you may or may not be a part of. Nobody teaches the strategies that I'm going to start to share with you guys tonight. So for the first 8 years of my career, investors all over the country were saying, oh my God, how did you do that? Like, can you help me? You need to start a coaching program. I'm like, no, ain't nobody got time for that. I am not about to do that. What do you mean you don't know how to go raise money? And so then it was really at the height of COVID. My husband and I met at a real estate conference. We do the same thing. We're both, speakers and educators. And so at the height of COVID, our daughter was 6 months old. As we all know, live events shut down. So all we had on our hands were time. So I was like, you know what, why not? Like, I literally was bored. I was like, I guess I'll create a coaching program and start teaching people how to raise money. I still don't get how they don't know how to raise money. And so the two things though that I don't do, like, it's funny because when everyone heard that raising money was so easy for me, they were like, oh, well, you just bought a list or you just asked your friends and family members. No, it's the complete opposite. For those of you who know me, and some of you on here know my story, I'm very stubborn. I don't need anyone's help. I'm going to figure it out on my own, especially for select family members who were not supportive and the friends I lost along the way. So I'm going to be the first person to tell you, raising money can be simple when you know what you're doing. And here's how you can go raise unlimited capital without depending on your friends or family members. And regardless of your experience, your credit, or your liquidity, none of that matters. So that's kind of how I got to where I am today.
Okay, I love that. We're definitely going to get to that, Amy, but I want you, obviously the experiences that we go through contribute a lot to who we are today, right? And I understand 2017 was quite a challenging year for you. Could you just add a little bit of details on what happened in 2017 and what kind of really what was the positive takeaways from 2017 that impacted you and and to set you in the trajectory that ends up where you are now?
So I'm going to start with the latter.
Okay.
Positive takeaway is that one skill set, knowing how to raise money, is what dug me out of a $1.4 million loss. This isn't LLC money, corporate money. It was my money. It was private money lenders, probably 25 of them, whose investments I had lost, like gone. Now, you guys decide how you're going to handle these types of situations, because it's going to happen. You're going to make money, you're going to lose money, whether it's yours or somebody that you know. So I saw that these losses, it was like the perfect storm. I saw that these losses were about to happen. And so I'm proactively giving everyone updates, right? That's the right thing to do. Now, there is a right and a wrong way to structure private money loans. That's just not something we're going to wing. What you choose to offer them is a different story. You can offer them whatever you want. But every day of 2017, I kept my head down. I cried. I was in the doctor's office at least once a month. I considered filing bankruptcy many times. But I'm like, F it, I'm going to figure it out. I put private money lenders on payment plans. I drained my retirement account. I sold all my assets. I got about 2-year payment plans that took 5 years to pay off. So it sucked. And then to top it all off, the guy I was dating at the time decided to propose, which I was very excited about. But I was like, the last thing I need to do right now, you can probably hear me, is plan a wedding. I'm very happy, but I figured it out. What was the end result? Less than 5 investors got back 75 to 90% of their principal. Everyone else got paid back. So that's the end result.
Wow.
It's like, I can't keep paying you back for the rest of my life. But of course, it made me stronger. It made me who I am today. And it's allowed me to create multiple businesses and generate multiple streams of income just because I know how to raise money. I didn't exit the game. I just shifted my strategy. So what are you guys doing to shift your strategy? I hope you're not just sitting at home right now collecting a bunch of cash because you're waiting for foreclosures to hit the market or interest rates are so high. That doesn't matter. We make money when we buy, even during a recession. So what is your buying criteria and what does your team of experts look like? And why aren't you guys locking up contracts right now, for example?
Wow.
Man, Amy, I feel like you're an activator. Yeah, you're the perfect guest here for tonight. I just want to shut up and listen, to be honest, and let you guys run the whole thing.
Very passionate. But yeah, you guys, I mean, that's why, I don't have a lot of empathy. I am, like you said, Trevor, very direct. Because with this one skill set, I know what works and what doesn't work, right? I'm terrible at marketing. Don't ask me to come generate leads for you. Not happening. But with private money, it's that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I've seen, how it's turned my life around, and I can do whatever I want now.
So Amy, do you feel like, I know a lot of people, they always ask us how can I learn everything? I need to learn everything, and I just don't, I feel like I'm good in underwriting, but I'm not good in talking to people. I need to build a team, and usually what we say is slow down a little bit, slow down. You don't have to build immediately a team and commit to people and everything, right? Focus on yourself first and develop a skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, for those of you who are engineers or you're super analytical, you're going to overthink every single thing. Okay.
I confess. That's me.
Don't need to know everything. Don't waste your time trying to know everything. Know who to target, right? Who is a good multifamily underwriter that you can bring on as an equity partner? Who is a good real estate attorney, even if you live in a state that doesn't require an attorney to close? Who is a good coach? Who is a good administrative assistant? Start to outsource, but be very selective with who you choose to surround yourself with. We've all heard that. Put yourself, surround yourself with the people on the same mission as you. it is going to have an impact, even with your virtual assistants from the Philippines. Hire the best. Do not settle for anything less than the best and pay a premium for it.
That's right.
Very good. Very good. Amy, I know when it comes to raising money, the first place really to start is your mindset.
Mhm.
So if you could speak to that, what would you say are the top 2 or 3 mindset things that people got to work through and get on point before they want to really start raising private money at a successful level?
Yeah, you nailed it. Mindset's number 1. That's the first thing that we crush. Like inside of my coaching program, module 1 is all about mindset. Specifically, the biggest excuse I hear is, I don't know anyone with money, like, or I don't have any rich friends and family members. Okay, you don't have to know people with money, because we want to build relationships with anyone and everyone the minute we leave our house, because we never know who you're one touch away from, right? So raising money is not just asking your rich friends and family members. That doesn't matter. It's 24/7. The minute you leave your house, everyone you encounter is a prospective private money lender. So who are you targeting? Everyone. What are the words that are coming out of your mouth? We'll get into that later. But the other thing is, I don't have any experience. No one's gonna lend me money. I don't have any experience, or I feel bad because this person's doing me a favor by lending me money. No, they're not. They're not doing squat for you. You're doing them a favor by allowing them to invest with you. You're the one offering them double-digit returns backed by real estate. So stop feeling bad and realize you're in a position of power. You're the one with posture, right? So how do we speak more in a position of posture so that everyone out there has what, you know, what we have to offer them? It's not what they want, it's what you're offering, right? We're offering them an opportunity to invest. I don't care what you want. That's not what I'm offering you.
I love that. I love that. And so besides education, you mentioned, I mean, when we're out there making these relationships, right? We're meeting people in the Uber, we're meeting people at the airport, we're meeting people at the gym. What are some of the first things that should come out of our mouth, and how do we, I mean, what kind of exercises do we need to do to make sure that craft gets sharpened?
Yeah, to kind of wrap the last question and segue into this, you know, it's all about building your foundation. Why are you raising private money? If I ask you that question and you don't have a confident, immediate response, you have lost me as a prospective private money lender, and I will never consider investing with you ever again. So as you build your foundation, understand, why are you raising money? You have to know how to answer the hard questions. Trevor, why aren't you using your own money? Because you want to put my money at risk? What happens if you die? What happens if the deal goes south? Are you going to sign a personal guarantee? Why aren't you working with banks or hard money lenders? You know, all of these things. So as you figure those out, there's nothing wrong with planting seeds with anyone and everyone you encounter, like people at airports, people in this webinar, people at live events, like we all go to, your neighbors, Uber drivers, church, sporting communities, bars, restaurants, whatever you do. So what's the first thing you say? It's my 4-second power pitch. Some of you have heard me speak. My 4-second power pitch you can download from my Instagram. It comes with a video tutorial as well. So I'm going to rattle off. Do you want me to share that now, Trevor? What the 4-second? Okay.
Please.
So what the 4-second power pitch is, and then I'm going to break it down for you in 2 different ways, for those of you who have experience versus those of you who don't have experience. So when I was working at Dell and I made the decision to invest in real estate, even as a side hustle, as a hobby, as I was pursuing my dream job at Nike, I never talked about Dell for many reasons, but I never chose to talk about it. So when I would go out and I would meet somebody new and they would say, oh, hey, Amy, it's so nice to meet you. What I didn't say was, oh, I work for Dell and I hate my job, but I'm trying to get this gig at Nike. In the meantime, I'm trying to flip houses on the side to load on materialistic things, right? Nobody cares. Don't be a buzzkill. What I would say is 13 words. I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. That's my 4-second power pitch. Hey, it's so nice to meet you. What do you do? Nice to meet you too. I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. What was your name again? What was it that you said that you do? It's so nice to meet you. Because naturally, what are they gonna do?
They're going to ask, what in the world? They're going to ask another question about it.
Exactly. And then I have another script for that, right? But that's how you plant seeds. Whether you're new or experienced. Now, for those of you who have a job, I'm not telling you to go risk getting fired, right? I made the decision never to talk about both jobs. If you want to talk about both, you can say, you know, I'm in the process of transitioning out of corporate America And I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. You want that to be the call to action, the last thing that comes out of your mouth. For those of you who are more expert investors and you actually have experience, we don't want to disregard your portfolio. So I just got done speaking at a short-term rental summit, so I'll use that as an example. You could say, oh, I'm building a short-term rental portfolio in Phoenix, Arizona. We've got, 25 doors, and I show people how to earn double-digit returns backed by real estate. So that's how you're going to start using my 4-second power pitch. This is step one. There are many steps. So somebody here is going to DM me on Instagram saying, yada, 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 this, that, and the other. How do I start raising money? So I'm going to tell you right now, hopefully the team shares the replay. I'm going into direct coaching mode. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Step one, for the rest of your life, I don't care who you are, part-time, full-time, it's my 4-second power pitch. So do not DM me and ask me, what is the first step? This is the first step. So if you want the script, I'm not going to spam you, download it from my website. You can have it, practice it, fine tune it, make it your own if you want, but it works. And then start raising awareness with everyone you encounter on what you do.
I love that. Amy, can I share with you my my power pitch? It's a little bit longer than 4 seconds, so maybe I need to trim it down. But I remember you talking about the 4-second power pitch in Clever Summit when I got to see you rocking it on stage. And because I'm in the W-2 and then I have the real estate thing going on, it's always, I'm really glad that you brought that up, because it's okay to mention both of them, but in with the real estate one, because that's going to be the call to action. So here it is. You ready? And I'm open to critique. Amy, what I do is I help engineers and contractors utilize our engineered fabrics on their infrastructure projects. But what I really love to do, I love to help family-loving, hardworking professionals invest in apartments so that they have the freedom to spend more time on what brings them meaning, purpose, and joy.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. That's really
Thank you.
good. Very confident. Your
Real.
tone.
It's real also, right? I mean, that's what we love about the message, is that it's really the message, it's not a message.
I mean, I could tell that's your voice, right? I don't talk like that. I feel that in my heart, but I don't articulate it the way that you do. So when I say make it your own, like, I'm giving you the frame and the principle, right? But if you need to tweak it a little bit to put it in your own voice, then that's fine. But we're basically saying the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, well, ever since you planted the seed of figuring out your 4-second power pitch, that's basically where I'm at. I mean, we're talking about a year of kind of, massaging this. So it didn't happen overnight, for sure.
No, it was great. I love it.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. I'd like to switch gears a little bit. Of course, we're still in the ballpark of raising private money, but some of the feedback that I've gotten from other capital raisers, I guess is another way of putting it, is the number one thing you need to establish with potential investors in your multifamily deals is trust. And probably that goes hand in hand with credibility. Mm-hmm. Could you speak to how in the world do you build trust and credibility with people that you're just meeting?
Yeah, so it's not going to happen on day one. The way you start the conversation is with the 4-second power pitch. They're going to want to know more. So the way you build rapport and trust, now this can happen in as little as 21 days. In as little as 21 days, you guys can raise 6 figures, is going to be all of your credibility pieces. So I have 17 credibility pieces, in my business that I give my students, and every credibility piece is tailored for your specific private money lender. These 17 credibility pieces also serve as the controls that we put into our business. So if we think about risk versus control, when controls go down, risk goes up, right? So think about if you guys have a financial advisor, we don't control the investments that they're making. So we have less control, which means it's greater risk. But hey, private money lender, in our real estate business, here are all the controls I've put into place. And this is, as you take them through your credibility pieces, which equate to those controls, you're going to see their confidence continue to go up with every single conversation that you have with them. And as their confidence goes up, that's how you continue to build rapport and trust.
Okay. I love that. Could you give us just a little teaser, maybe like 2 or 3 of those credibility? You don't have to unveil the whole treasure box,
Yeah,
Amy.
I mean, like, regardless of who your audience is, look, you're going to come across very investor savvy private money lenders. I'm talking to people straight, like hedge fund managers, people straight out of Wall Street. They're not going to care about anything other than the numbers. They're going to be like, dude, I get it. I feel you. I've done this before. Just send me the numbers. That doesn't mean send them a 15-page dissertation on what's happening with your deal. So what I'm about to share with you doesn't pertain to the Wall Street investors. The 80 to 90% of the people that you're going to be targeting, a lot of them have maybe done this once or twice, or they've never done it before. And it's people that we seek out. They're not going to be seeking us out. If they're seeking us out, it's probably a hard money lender or somebody brokering deals or a bank. So usually the very first credibility piece, at least the one I give all of my students and the one I still use today, is I have a general private money presentation. So the general private money presentation, it's 19 pages long. This is something, if you're a private money lender's local, do it over a coffee talk, a 30-minute coffee talk, 30 minutes. I don't care how much you like the person. And in 30 minutes, they still need time to talk, right? So in a perfect world, which I know we don't live in, we want to get through this presentation. I'll break it down for you in a second. In 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to screw it up. It's going to take you 45 minutes. That's normal, right? But keep practicing. So basically, the private money presentation, you're not asking for money. You're not asking them for what they have. You're not even asking them if they've ever invested before. You're not sharing any numbers with them. It's basically 4 things. Who are you and what do you do? Why do I care to be talking to you right now? Number 2, what's in it for us as real estate investors? Why do we leverage OPM, other people's money? Number 3, what's in it for them? The private money lender, like why should they invest 200 G's in our project? And then number 4 is the call to action. All right, cool. So that's just a 60-foot overview on who I am and what I'm doing. And if you want to hear more, great. And if not, no pressure. That's it. That's a credibility piece, the private money presentation.
That's really good. That's really good. I hope y'all are taking notes here, man. This is some Jedi stuff right here. I'm going to make sure I'm able to address all those, Amy. Anyway, just so with our Freedom Boys here, I'm more on the investor relations and capital raise side. So this is like music to my ears, what you're saying right here. So, Amy, I want to go back a little bit. You already talked about it, but it was in the context kind of speaking about another topic. All right. But if you could just lay out, you mentioned there's some hard questions that we need to be prepared to answer when it comes to private money lenders or, potential passive investors in our deals. Okay. Could you just lay out again one more time for us, please, the top 3 or 4 questions that you consistently see that we need to be prepared to answer that are a little bit more difficult, maybe, or challenging?
Yeah, I mean, top 3, why don't you use your own money, is number 1. Number 2 is, what if the deal goes south? Or like, have you ever taken a loss in the past? Always be transparent, you guys. Number 3, are you willing to sign a personal guarantee? I can go on forever. Number 4, what if something happens to you, right? Like a life-changing activity happens to you. So I think my list of frequently asked questions is 26 or 27. So it's 6 pages long, single spaced. So if you guys don't have a list of frequently asked questions, like start to create one. It'll take you some time to build off of it. But as you guys get questions, type them out, figure out the answers, and start to build your own list of frequently asked questions.
Okay, that's excellent. Actually, one of the things that we've been working on with the Freedom Boys, I think our list it's 15 questions right now, guys. Frequently asked questions. It's going to be something that we're going to have on our website, and actually, frankly, we all need to be equiped with knowing how to properly address these.
So here's what's going to happen. Like let's say, Trevor, you give your entire community your 15 FAQs. Here's what's going to happen. Somebody here is just going to memorize it. So I'm going into coaching mode. Do not just memorize a bunch of questions, because what's going to happen is an investor savvy private money lender is going to test your knowledge, and they will purposely ask you the same question 5 different ways to test your knowledge. So you have to read, understand, and memorize your list of FAQs. Don't just memorize them or it's not going to work.
Okay, that's really good. Really good. Since you're in coaching mode, Amy, right here, tell us about what you got going on the coaching side. tell us about what you got going on with the event coming up, and anything else that you would like to share with us, kind of the magic that you're making in the real estate world.
Yeah, I'm super excited. All these amazing things are happening. What is today? Sunday. We are 12 days away. I've got my second private money conference in Long Beach, California coming up in 12 days. That's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be 2 to 3 days, depending on your ticket type, but it's implementation. It's going to be me, my husband, a bunch of guest speakers, a bunch of RPMers there, like coaching you for 1 full day. You're going to start raising money before we break for lunch on day 1. And then on day 2, all of my investor guest speakers, like Vina, for example, are going to fly out and they're going to talk to you guys, and they're going to give you time for Q&A on, all right, now you know how to raise money, and here are all the different ways that you can deploy it. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I've got a private money coaching program, and I'm very protective of it. I know there are a few of you here who are a part of the coaching program. It's great to see you, but I don't mass market it. And I think that's why the community is so cool is, yeah, I literally give them a done for you system so that they can raise unlimited capital. But it's cool because it's probably like you guys, it's 300 investors all over the world who are like-minded, who get it, who have each other's back, who raises money for each other. They do deals together. You know, it's nobody with a negative mindset. Like, I turn people away all the time. If you don't want this, or someone's forcing you to be here, like, bye, I don't need you in this community. Because that's not fun for me, right? Like, as a coach, I want to coach people who are excited to learn. But that's my main thing now. Like, I'm still an active investor, so worked on my next multifamily syndication, wrapping up a couple of new builds here in Austin, Texas. But I'm kind of over it, been there, done that. So I'm going to focus more on growing my multifamily investing portfolio, syndicating more deals, and then raising awareness and growing our RPM community. So for those of you who are local to LA, come on out, join us. You can click on the link in my IG bio, or fly out. You still have time to get a ticket. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon.
That's right. And we've been blowing up the chat, Amy, with all your stuff. So everyone, if you need the links to Amy's event, her IG, a bunch of other stuff that she's got going on, it's also in the chat as well.
Thank you.
So be sure to check that out. Amy, this is the multifamily freedom chasers, right? So I want to hear a little bit more about what you have going on and what your experience has been in the multifamily space specifically.
Mostly, I have been investing over the last 7 years as a passive investor. So I have parked money into multifamily deals. Like, we just invested with Vina. I'm actually right now in the process of locking up my first 60-unit building.
All right.
Syndication, which actually was inspired by Vina. So now I'm like,
Vina's an activator. Vina activated you, huh, Amy?
Now I'm like, because Vina's like, why aren't you doing this? I'm like, girl, that's a lot of work. I like being a soccer mom. Like, people who know me, like, I work 25 hours a week, and that's already too much. But it's not. I'm like, I teach people how to raise money. This is what I do every day. So it goes back. We all have fear, right? It's just like, my first level of fear was finding the right underwriter, the right operator, the right property manager, right? But when you find them, you're like, oh, snap. Like, when you have your power team in place, it makes things so much easier. So I'm locking up in the process, hopefully, of locking up our first 60 unit out in Victorville, California. And then we're just going to grow it from there.
Congratulations, Amy. We did our first deal right before Thanksgiving, a 40-unit deal, seller finance, and it feels good to have that first one under the belt. We're looking closely, very in depth, at a couple right now, so we'll see if we can make some magic happen in the next couple of weeks. Our friend Vina may be helping us make some magic happen. We'll see. We'll see. We got some. I'm telling you, we got some cool stuff in the background.
Yeah,
cool stuff going on.
But I love that you did seller financing, because I took that back to the team, and I'm like, you guys, why are we going to go raise 10 mil? We can just do seller financing because they're like desperate and all this stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. And I was like, I didn't either. But it's like, it's like, that's not my jam, creative financing. Like, I'm just good at raising money. So I said that earlier, right? So that's cool that you did that on your 40 unit.
That's always our first go-to, since Trevor and myself, we come out of the sub-2 community.
Yeah.
So
right.
every deal we look at, the first question, right? It's like you can't help it. It jumps out of your mouth. Like, is there a seller finance opportunity? No.
A lot of times there is, because they don't even know that they can seller finance, right? So it's
Yeah.
just, it goes back to education, right? Why isn't everyone in this country acting as a private money lender, assuming they're in a position to do so? Because they're simply not educated on the process. So let's increase your confidence through knowledge and education so you can educate them.
That's right. And you notice in the commercial, on the commercial side or the multifamily side, the people you talk to, the sellers you talk to, they're usually a lot more educated, so to speak, than on the single family side, right? Somebody's losing their home, you know, so they don't know, like, how do I sell my house first place, right? And these people are a lot more open to terms, actually. And some deals don't work if you don't do seller finance deal, you know, and they're more open to that.
No, totally. One thing that I'm doing, I know, I don't know, I'd be curious to see what you guys are doing, but like on this first indication, I am not just limiting myself to accredited investors. I don't care if they're not accredited or accredited. I know, you know, some of my friends are very particular about that, but I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I have a minimum investment amount, but I work with both investors.
Yeah. We've thought about that, Amy, and it's a little bit easier, right, to work with accredited investors, but with our story of where we come from, right, we're not accredited, or at least I know I'm not, and I know Marcel's not. Maybe Victor is. He's our doctor of pharmacy, so maybe he is. But as far as what we're trying to accomplish, we want help. We want people that love their families and work hard to get the freedom that they want, and they leverage multifamily to do that. And a lot of people that fall into that category are not accredited investors. And so anyway, I'm just sharing you some of the things since we're on this topic of kind of where our thought process and perspective is, you know, is we want to reach a bunch of people and help people get the freedom that they want. And a lot of those people are not going to be accredited at that point in time, but maybe we'll get them there as a part of the freedom chasing process. Let's go, bro. Yes.
Not yet.
That's right. That's right.
I love it.
Amy, we're going to open it up for questions in about 5 minutes from the audience, but and it's just great to have you tonight.
Thank you.
I want you to speak on, I don't know if balance is the right word. I'm starting to like that word less and less, but I don't know how to phrase this question right now. But you know, without using the word balance. But you have your spousal duties. You're a fantastic mom, and you're crushing it in the professional space, in the entrepreneur space, in the real estate space. How in the world are you doing all this?
So this is a great example of, you guys, I'm no different than you guys, any of you here tonight. Like, and I've talked about this in the past where like, yeah, I'm doing well, I'm financially free, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I still don't think I'm crushing it. I still don't have balance. I'm still trying to figure my shit out every single day. It's like, I'm just now, my daughter's 3.5. And a year ago, I thought I was finally starting to find balance. And now a year later, I'm like, oh snap. Like, I think I'm starting to find balance now. It's like, I work on it every day. I break my day up into 3 sections, morning, afternoon, and evening. And if I get, you know, upset about things that happen in the morning, I try to treat my afternoon and evening completely separate. But it's hard. I'm not one of those entrepreneurs who's going to sit here and tell you, like, I wake up every morning and I meditate and then I journal and then I work out. I don't do any of that stuff. I have to set my alarm to wake up, and then it's like I'm the world's biggest procrastinator. So I'm hard on myself, you know. If I didn't procrastinate, if I didn't dilly-dally, I would be so much more successful, or be able to get so much more done in less time, you know. But it's hard. It doesn't matter how successful you are, like finding balance, because whatever we want to do is going to also change, right? Like, balance is still hard, whether you're traveling for fun, like catching up with friends and like doing the non-work stuff, right? So I'm probably not giving you guys, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. So I struggle with that too.
I think you're actually doing just that. I think you're telling everybody what they want to hear that way, because it showcases you don't have to be the prime example that everybody shows on Instagram, YouTube, wherever it is on the social medias, right? I mean, I always say, you know, to me, that's not sustainable from the get-go. It may be something one can develop in over decades. Sure, I don't know. Depends on the individual, right? But it takes time. And if you go from zero, we say this all the time. If you go from 0 to 150, you might make it for what, 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe a couple months, you know, but it's not sustainable, right? So we always talk about consistent action, you know, one step at a time, not more, not less. Meaningful action, obviously, meaningful action. But if you jump to the sky, as fast as it goes up, the fastest it usually comes down.
Yeah, well, no, thank you for that. But it's like, are we ever really going to find balance? Because things in our lives are always going to grow, change, and evolve, right? Like for those of you who have kids, like forget about it, you know. I think,
know.
I don't know. I guess you just get better at prioritizing things. And my mom's here, you know, she always says, oh, like you can't wait for Emma to start sleeping through the night, but wait, when she sleeps through the night, it's going to be something else, right? So same with us personally, professionally. And even if we find the most harmonious balance, it's like our minds are still going to be working 24/7 on the next deal, the next team member, like family vacation. So I don't even know if it's possible to find balance.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. I mean, that's why I kind of struggled at like in this word balance, right? Like it's kind of a buzzword when it comes to this stuff, but how real is it? I don't think it's very real, you know, you know, for it to be actually an actual reality in our daily life and everything that's going on.
Yeah.
One thing that I appreciated from Marcel, and this relates to what we're talking about here, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. I could still fire like 10 questions at you, Amy. This is like so good, but anyway, we gotta open it up for the audience. But freedom chasing, right? Freedom chasing, and I appreciate Marcel for this because, you know, we want to help people to achieve freedom, but the freedom there, you know, it's not like you work, and then you achieve freedom, and it's like, okay, now you can chill on the couch or chill on the beach for the rest of your life. I appreciate Marcel because he was like, if that's what you're aiming for, there's going to be a big disconnect and dissonance within. You're going to be misaligned within because of all the tangible and intangible characteristics and attributes that you've acquired in the process to acquire that freedom is going to be in conflict to now your current state if you just want to chill on the couch and not do anything and be lazy.
Yeah.
So that's why in our perspective in philosophy, it's like, okay, freedom, what's that freedom for? To spend time on what brings meaning, purpose, and joy. Still maintaining that intentionality, but where that intentionality with the time and energy that you now have with your freedom can be applied in a more meaningful and purposeful way that produces joy for you and everybody that you're impacting.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like, my husband and I were saying, I don't think we're ever going to quit like working, especially because I think we as investors, I think we all like love what we do. And unfortunately, it doesn't always feel like work, which can be good or bad. You know, just catching up with friends or going to an event with friends, like that doesn't seem like work. But yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, it's being able to do what you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want, right? So what does your lifestyle by design look like? And just working around that.
That's
exactly.
right.
For some people,
That's
it's
right.
impacting people, right? It's impacting people, but be able to do that and fully focus on that without having to worry to support your own family financially, for example, right? So your work is not for money anymore, right? Your work is now for the meaning, the purpose, whatever you have found for yourself, essentially.
Right.
Very
good. Marcel, should we open up for some Q&A here in our last 15 minutes with Amy?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I know I knew this, Amy, that Trevor was so excited of you coming on. I mean, and so were we obviously, right? But he has so much, you know. I mean, he could go another 3 hours with you because he told us for hours this week as well, like what all he wants to ask you and everything, and how much impact you can have on the people in the room here as well. But I would say, yes, let's open it up. Let's give the opportunity to people in the room, because we're always about proximity. Is what we tell everybody, right? This Zoom on this Sunday night is always a chance for everybody also to get that level of proximity. You said it earlier, right? Don't DM me with the stuff, yada, yada, yada. You know, you get a million of DMs. But guys, here's the chance, not just to send a DM. Here's the chance to come up, right? Show your face and have a one-to-one chat with Amy, fire up a question and go from there. So with that being said, raise your hands, guys. I already see Paulina has her hands raised, so she's going to be the first one. We're going to have a hard stop at 9:30. Okay, so however many questions we have answered by then, that's going to be it. Okay, so also be meaningful, right? Be mindful of how long you're going to fire up your question. Less than 60 seconds is what we say. And then we go from there. So with that, I'm going to bring up Paulina here and let her fire up her question. What's up, Paulina?
Hey, hi. Thank you for having this, Amy. Thank you for being here. My question is, when you meet somebody, let's just say at a restaurant, high-end restaurant, and they're excited to, well, they're interested in what you're talking about, right? Like the 4-second pitch that you talked about. How do you keep that relationship on the forefront? If you just met them, you're still looking for your deal. So let's just say I want to make sure that I keep that kind of fresh. So when I do have the deal, they still know who I am and kind of keep their interest still peaking for when you do have that deal.
Yeah, you're not. So great question, because everybody, do not wait to raise money until you have a deal. You want to be looking for money and deals at the same time. So Paulina, by the time you take this person through your credibility pieces, you'll have your next deal. So they're not going to give you the money tomorrow, right? But in as little as 3 weeks, they'll give you the money if you know how to take care of them. So what you're going to want to do is get their phone number, because they're going to say, oh my God, tell me more. This sounds amazing. And you're going to say, I want to be respectful of your time. Let's talk about it later. I'll give you a call. And then you're going to put them into your follow-up system, not your email automation. Nobody's going to be texting. We don't text our private money lenders. There's a way to nurture these relationships. So what does that look like? And then when do you start taking them through your credibility pieces? So then you'll have the money by the time you have your next deal.
So what would be like the nurturing part? That's kind of what I'm asking.
That's a loaded question. That's 17 lessons inside of my training. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, one example is, how often are you going to call your top 10 private money lenders? And when you call them, what are you going to say? You're not going to talk about work. You're going to talk about personal things, right? So a part of your nurture system may be a newsletter, or it may be a monthly investor updates. You have to figure out what that looks like for you.
Gotcha.
Right? But it starts with taking them through all of your credibility pieces to educate. Nobody's going to want to be in your nurture system unless they know, like, and trust you, right? So that starts with the credibility pieces and building their confidence in you as an investor.
Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All righty. Thanks, Paulina. Let's move on. We got David up next. Bring up David. Here you go, bro.
Hey, how's it going, Amy? Thank you for everything was super helpful. I'm just getting started. So I'm also very interested in capital raising. And so one question I had was about, like, because you mentioned obviously, like, it's not just friends and family, like you have to like talk to everybody. But like what did you run into any like trouble when you're with your friends and family, like just because they've known you for so long and like, oh, this real estate thing, like what's the deal with that? Like, it seems so like different than what we know you for. So I was wondering like how you kind of like approach that. It's like, kind of establish credibility with people that already like knew you.
So two things. Number one, I did not target my friends and family, not because they didn't want to help, but because many of them were not supportive. And I'm not about to waste my time and energy on trying to convince them on why they're wrong. Now I have a lot of people who I work with who do want to target friends and family. So that's fine. You're still going to treat it like a business. If you find that the people you're targeting, whether they're friends and family or not, David, it doesn't matter. But if they're like being skeptical or negative, one of two things has happened. Either we haven't done a good job of explaining to them who we are and what we've done, or number two, they're just not the right private money lender for you. So stop wasting your breath and move on to everyone else in the world who is.
Okay.
Like, stop talking to them about what you're doing and lean into your community that supports you.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's go.
that will happen. Like that's going to happen if it hasn't already started to happen.
Okay. Yeah, and I've had I have found that kind of that like people that I'm just meeting, I tend to have like better like conversations with them talking, whereas like people are like, oh, like, or like my friends and family, like, oh, this is like so new, it sounds, you know.
Crazy, you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. And also like being young too, like do you have any like advice for like, because age doesn't like, it shouldn't matter, but like it
It
does.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as long as you know what you're saying and you're confident in your delivery, your age does not matter. If anything, they're going to be impressed with your age. I
Okay.
always wish I started when I was younger.
Okay.
So yeah, so just shift, stop talking to people you know then and just talk to people you don't know.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, David. All right, we got up next, we got Peter. What's up, brother? Trying to unmute you, Peter.
Yeah, I'm in the car, a little challenging to navigate.
Mr. Technology.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Amy, thanks for being here. Great call, guys. So I actually didn't have a question, Amy. I just wanted to reiterate something that you said to make sure everybody heard it.
And then he muted himself. Now you're back. And muted himself again. One
No,
more try, Peter. There you go.
am I there or not?
You're there.
All right, hang on a second. I got something running here.
Let's go. Let's come back to Pete, man. Let's go to Danny when he gets it figured out.
Let's do that. What's up, Danny?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Trevor, Marcel, and Victor, thank you guys for putting this on.
You're welcome.
Amy, thank you. One of the very few persons, as I listen to people who are involved in real estate, I think you're the more, one of the more truthful, most honest people, being upfront with what you believe in and holding your ground, you know, where, because not everybody can do certain things, right? But I do appreciate the honesty. I'm taking a look at the 4-second pitch. My question to you, it sort of reminds me of there's no second chances for a first impression. Obviously, behind that 4-second pitch, what is it, that first impression that the people get from you that solidifies that beyond that 4-second pitch, there's a lot more behind this person that's actually delivering this message?
Well, thank you for the kind words, by the way. So look, you guys, you're not always going to know what comes next. I've just shared steps 1 and 2 with you. So how are you going to get them to actually be intrigued and want to know more? It's going to be in your confidence in delivering the 4-second power pitch. It's that simple. So for those of you who are introverts, or for those of you who need to just practice it more and memorize it, download it, practice it, record your voice on your phone, play it back, make sure you sound confident.
Right.
And you're going to say, if you download my script, it also comes with my follow-up script, which is my 20-second follow-up. That's as far as the conversation is going to go at a happy hour or a dinner or a fundraising event, for example. So you can still buy yourself several days to, you know, prepare your private money presentation and get ready for just the next step. So it's just confidence in your delivery. There are a lot of educators out there who are going to say, I hate it when people say fake it till you make it. Why? I don't. I'm not. But just speak with confidence and then reach into your community and be like, oh my goodness, I have a meeting next week. What in the world do I do? What do I say? Right. And then we'll figure it out.
Oh, wow. If I may ask one more question.
Fire away, bro.
With Blackstone raising $30 billion with what they've done, and they're looking to take over part of that fund going into single family residents, how do you think is that going to affect what a lot of us are trying to do today? When they are the big, supposedly the big people in the world, doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter. There's enough opportunity and deals for all of us. If you take that article, I just put that article into a presentation and you
Okay.
share that with your private money lenders, like be Blackstone, be the bank. Like this is why we're doing what we do. That only helps us as real estate investors. It doesn't hurt us.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Danny. All
Thank you.
right, and then we have my friend Victor the Connector.
Victor.
Hey, Amy, big fan.
Hello.
Can't wait to see you. I know you're going to Cali with Vina and everything else, and I wish I can make it. I got prior commitments, but just waiting for you to go back to Austin so I can go there and see you out here a little closer to home. So,
Yeah.
thank you for all of the stuff you've been saying, and especially with getting with the communities and everything else. Just like going from one to another, you're always there helping everybody out there, especially getting started. Right? It's always scary, and having mentors like you to go back and lean on to understanding on some of the secret sauces, like they were saying. Right? It does help, and I do appreciate it. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, of course. Thank you. You're so sweet. I see all your messages on Instagram, so thank you.
You're very welcome. Talk to you later.
Victor is everywhere, always.
I try to be.
You got a good omnipresence.
Yeah, that's good.
Y'all
All
take
right.
care.
Thank you,
Bye.
Victor. We got,
Thanks,
I would
Victor.
say one more question here, right? One more question, and then I think we hit it here right on the dot. We got Ed coming up from LA. What's up, bro?
Hey, unfortunately, I can't show my video, but just want to say, always awesome guests here. Thankful to be part of this community. And Amy, thank you. I live in Los Angeles, so I'm looking forward to doing my best to make it to the event in Long Beach. I have prior commitments, so I'm trying to move stuff around, but really just want to say thank you and appreciate all the time you've given us. And I think right now with a lot of people hesitating, obviously people are still investing, people are still buying deals, but what do you give advice in this current uncertainty?
For what? Raising money?
Yeah.
The uncertainty doesn't matter. It's explaining, it goes back to risk versus control. So, hey, private money lender, who cares about what's happening in our economy? Here's why that doesn't matter: because of my target market, because of my buying criteria, because of my team of experts, because I know how to answer the hard questions, right? Because of the returns, because of the contracts I use. So it's what are the controls you put into place? And when you have controls in place, nothing else matters.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Hopefully we see you in LA soon.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure I make it work. All right. With that being said, I want to challenge everybody, as we always do with our celebrity guests here. Pull out your cell phone, guys. This is the time. Pull out the cell phone. We're all social media experts, right? We want to make sure everybody knows what we're doing. So now you have the chance to pull out your phone and take a picture. Everybody smile, right? What are we doing here today? Yay. Yay. And now what you're going to do after that, you're going to go to Instagram and you're going to tag Amy and you're going to tell your entire network how amazing this past hour with Amy was and how much value she was sharing and how they should tune into her Instagram channel as well and check her out. Also see, maybe it's something for them to go to the event in Long Beach, right? So make sure, use that. I'm sure Amy is somebody that likes to share and showcase people that showcase her. So if you're a little smart about social media, that means you get exposed to her network, right? I always want to let you know, if you don't want to be a true go-giver, you can also do it for yourself, but I hope you do it for her. So with that being said, make sure you showcase that up there. I hope we got a bunch of tags now going up on Instagram and everybody knows that Amy was sharing a bunch of value here tonight in the Freedom Chasers community. With that being said, I'm gonna turn it over quickly to Trevor to farewell you, Amy, and thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you.
Amy, this was absolutely tremendous. It was great to be with you again, and we look forward to when our paths cross, hopefully in the near future. And
Yeah.
Blessings to you and your family, your event coming up in 2 weeks. And this was absolutely fabulous tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who took time out of your personal life to be here. Appreciate you guys. Great questions. You guys got this. Believe in yourself and you will do great things. And I look forward to connecting with you all soon.
Definitely. Thank you, Amy.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.